coming in right now because. Okay, shall we get the ball rolling?
Go ahead.
Just give me. Okay. Hello there, wherever you're watching. This is One Nigeria platform on Njenje TV. And last week we were talking about agribusiness, and we had to, because we had lots of discussions there, and we couldn't end it in one edition, so we had to like break it down to have this part 2 that you're now having. I am Hamid Bakare. I'm your host, and I can assure you you're going to have a bumper package this time on the agribusiness. I have my fellow compatriots here, and we'll be doing justice to the topic, challenges and prospects of agribusiness in Nigeria. With me, I have some guests who are entrepreneur. They have wealth of experience to actually do justice to this topic. First on the list is Engineer Eze Thomas Chinedu. Engineer Eze Thomas Chinedu is an alumnus of Federal University of Technology, Owerri, that's FUTO, where he obtained a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Food Technology. He's trained at NAFDAC, NAFDAC laboratories in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi. He served the mandatory national service in the ancient city of Ibadan, Oyo State, and where he stood out as an erudite STEM instructor, launching his maiden book on the determined to pay the price. Okay, upon completion, he has many other caps, and I wouldn't want to go through these because I don't want to take too much of our time. The next guest is a strong lady, a woman of substance as well. Her name is Arafat Adam Akoyi. She has a bag of portfolio as well. She's an entrepreneur, the CEO of Arafat Limited, a premium lifestyle services company registered in the United States and also Nigeria. A mother company to 8 different individual registered brands. She's published Nigeria's first Islamic entertainment lifestyle magazine, Organized. She's also into the catering and the water view. The next is, she's a member of various professional organizations such as the International Concert, and don't let me take too much of your time. Also, I have another person, very quietly timid. Her name is Zainab. She's into food, the business, the manufacturing, the catering, and all of that. The end user is actually the food. She owns a restaurant. Her name is Zainab Mohammed Rabiu. She's the CEO of Soup in a Bowl. She's passionate about cooking and the taste board teaser. All of you, I say once again, I say welcome. I start with you, Chinedu Eze. What led you into this agribusiness? Because some would say, is it viable? Because we know Nigeria is an agrarian country, but is it actually viable?
Yeah, the agribusiness sector in Nigeria is not just only viable, but it's one of the, the untapped gold of Africa. Like the topic right.
Could you speak up, because we can barely hear what you're saying. Project, please.
Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Project better. Project.
Yeah,
louder.
I'm saying that the agribusiness sector in Nigeria is not just viable, but it's one of the untapped golds of Africa. And with little effort put into it to get it into a very global system that is workable, I tell you, according to Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, if things are put right using their indices, I assure you that is one of the sectors that could replace the oil sector in Nigeria. I'm very confident about that.
One would be wondering, when you said that if it's actually looked into, because prior to the discovery of petrol in Nigeria, agriculture was the leading thing that gave us the huge currency, that even the Naira was stronger than the dollar at that point in time. Even Malaysia actually came here to understudy, to take the palm kernel. Why would you say, what went wrong? Last week we had Samuel actually gave us the journey of how we can make business out of it. How did we get it wrong, and how can we get it right?
Okay, we got it wrong because we refused to change with the changing society, and we refused to upgrade our technology to the global standard. And we refuse to install global systems that are currently of demand within the market of agribusiness. I don't know if I am permitted to discuss in detail what it entails to talk about agribusiness.
Usually, no, that's why we have you here.
When we talk about agribusiness, some people think it's all about farming. No, no, that was where we got it wrong. Agribusiness simply means introducing business to agri. And the three areas we introduce business to agri involves production, involves processing, and involves distribution. The area we got it wrong as an African continent is that we have focused much on production, and we have forgot about processing. We have forgot about distribution. Okay? So,
okay.
I hoped that I will be opportune to show you some slide view and possibly show you some key things that have been happening in the global stage, which Africa have not queued into, and which Nigeria is supposed to be a hub to getting this done. Well, I trained as a processing expert, and my duty and job is always to add value to agricultural products. Nigeria is getting it wrong. Why are we getting it wrong? 1960 is quite different from 2000 millennium years, because in 1960, raw materials was of essence to be exported. But currently, as we speak, the global community have built-in system to even control raw materials. They have built-in system to control finished products. Okay, these systems are still very alien to the African society, thereby making agribusiness look not profitable in that soil. Okay, I took about an hour to go through your previous discussion, and that helped me to actually understand what people think is actually the challenge of the agribusiness in Nigeria. First and foremost, the major problem of agribusiness in Nigeria is nothing else but market development.
How, by market development, what do you mean by that? Could you expatiate for somebody who's a third party who doesn't really understand this in layman's English? What is market?
Good. And that is the huge problem we are talking about, because people in agribusiness in Nigeria do not understand that the market is not developed for the global community. They do not understand that what they are doing currently is not accepted within the global market. They do not understand that the time has gone when raw materials will leave the shores of Africa without a thorough investigation on the origin. They do not understand that the food chain community is not talking about traceability. It's not talking about trackability of raw material and finished products. These are key global issues. In the 1960s, we do not have the things we call global trade identification numbers. We do not have the QR codes. We do not have the barcodes. We do not have the what are the European article trade numbers. These are key codes that have been fixed in that ensures that any single product that is leaving a particular point of origin can be traced back to where it is emanating from in case of any occurrence of health risk. And this becomes something that is beyond the ordinary entrepreneur that is into agribusiness. It becomes a global concern that Nigeria as a nation should look into.
Can you do me a favor?
Okay.
Can you please let us know, take us from the journey of how we got it wrong? What are the things we weren't doing perfect? I think Marty is trying to say something, I don't know. But what are the things are we doing wrongly, and how did we get it wrong to get to this stage? And how can we?
Permit me to share you a slide. I hope that will go a long way to helping.
Exactly. I think, Marty, are you saying something? Can I hear what you're saying?
I think he's trying to interpret what I'm saying in like language sign or something of that nature.
Okay, good. Go on. Okay. You have the floor right now. Go ahead.
Can you see my slide?
Yeah, I can see it. We can all see it.
Agribusiness in Nigeria, challenges and prospects. I think that should be your topic for today's deliberation.
It is, exactly.
Okay, so it is the introduction of business in agriculture in three folds known as PPD, production, processing, and distribution, like I have always told you. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
So post-harvest losses is the key challenge Nigeria as a nation is facing. It is the real problem of agriculture in Nigeria and the real cause of every other problem that hampers agribusiness in Nigeria. The issue of use, yield, cluster farming, mechanized farming, name it, it's all tied to post-harvest losses. And if Nigeria could fix this, I tell you, they'll begin to cash in into the global market demand. Challenges of agribusiness. I classified it into two, primary and secondary. The primary is the market development, which has to focus on processing and distribution. What does the market want currently? What the market wants currently is quite different from what market demanded in 1960. How do they want it? Where do they want it? The European community have defined what they want as a product. Okay? They have defined how they want it, and they have defined what they want in it. And that was why sometimes about 5 years ago, this kind of product, this is a beans product. Okay? Nigeria used to be a very good importer of beans product to Europe. It's an agri product, but it cannot leave Nigeria again as an agri produce. It has to live as an edible product. It has to live as food. If you look at this product, I got this from a store. I just got it for the purpose of this presentation. You see here, this product was made in 2016 and it was made exactly on September 5th, 2006. And
it to be indicated on the barcode.
Yeah, it's indicated, but that's not my concern. I want to bring up something to you. And it has an expiry date of 30th of September 2021. So as of 2021, if this product is still found in any shelf, to be withdrawn. The question is, beans in Nigeria, can they be tracked this way? This very product you're seeing here can be tracked back to the producer because it has history, but such is not the case. That's one of the problems when we talk about market development. And because these neighboring communities have seen this as global challenge, they do not want to trade on these items, hence the ban of beans. Okay, I leave beans, I go to yam. Subsequently, you heard about the Nigerian export of cocoa. Fortunately, I was in Lagos Business School when that transaction was supposed to be made. I made a comment to the director of Lagos Business School. I told them, you see, the problem is not the exporting of this yam. The problem is ensuring that this yam stays within the time it needs to pass the sea down to Europe. And unfortunately, that particular statement I made in that very class was what brought about the return of that yam back to Nigeria. What happened? I don't know who advised them. I don't know how they assembled their processes. They are still thinking it is the way businesses are done in 1960. The yam was not appropriately prepared in terms of its shelf life to operate within that climate.
Can I add on to something that you're saying about that yam? Because I actually reported that incident.
Okay.
I think the problem we had then was they put the yam tubers in the usual kind of containers that that we convey vehicles and all of that. There's a particular container that is used for yams. It has air conditioning in it that would preserve it for the journey from Nigeria. It's because we don't see it as business. We just see it from a layman. That's why we fell into that.
After this presentation, you're going to know why they had to make that error. You're going to know why they have to make that mistake. That's what I say. How do they want it? And where do they want it? Because where they want it will determine how it is wanted. And that's what Nigeria got wrong. You asked me a question previously. Where do we get it wrong? These are the places we are getting it wrong. The times are changing. Technology is changing. And reference points and quality parameters are redefined across zones and continents. But we do not have system to align with this kind of system that have been set up in neighboring continents. And that is why market development has become a very big issue for agribusiness in Nigeria. We produce
Moving on, we want you to cover everything
in the wrong way. The market wants it, and at the wrong place that the market wants it. So in the process of market development, we are looking at standard, we are looking at presentation, and we are looking at delivery. Now, in the food processing industry, there is a common document that is used all over the world, supervised by Standard Organization of Nigeria. It's called Codex Alimentaris. Codex is a document that helps to specify the use of certain things, processing aids in processing products. Nigeria uses that too. But do you know the problem? Apart from that, there are other parameters that need to be met. But we have not set up system for that. I take you further. Why are the above challenges? Why do I see them as challenges? You might not see them as a layman, but we who are in the industry, we understand how much is costing our nation and the continent at large. And that's why I thought it wise to honor this program, because it will bring an opportunity, if the government will listen, of what they should do in order to realign with the global community and improve the global competitive index in terms of food export. Let me assure you that the West need our products, but because we are not measuring up, they are more or less like discouraged to look elsewhere. Sometimes ago, AGOA was put in place by the United States of America to encourage export of agri products. But how many people know about it? How many people can meet up? I hope by the end of my presentation today, the government will get it right. It just takes two things to get it right in Nigeria, just two things. Other things are already there. If Nigerian government can be proactive in these two things, they will get it right. And they will open up the agribusiness. I'm coming there. Let's go gradually. Nobody in Nigeria.
Sorry, you know why? You know why I will be interjecting you, because, like you have your presentation, the other person who's in the concierge business would also have to talk, and the person who handles a restaurant will also talk. It's like a chain. So I would rather you quickly touch on them, so that person also gets it, because that person also has a lot of things to get out to the public. Okay?
Wonderful,
so
wonderful,
good.
Wonderful.
Good.
What are the two things? The Nigerian government needs to build a system that will develop and give the global community the confidence that yes, the quality have improved, the quality are obtained. How do we build this system? Now let's look at the performance of this sector in terms of our GDP. It has been noticed that agri has 25.16%, industries have 22.25%, and services have about 52.60% contribution to our GDP. What does this tell us? This tells us that services is contributing more to our GDP, and market development is a unit of service for the agribusiness that the government has to put in place. How? That was what you asked me. Let me take you down to the document I prepared, and that will make my presentation give room for somebody else. Okay, I hope you can see this artwork. This is an overview
of the sector.
I made a comparison of the two situations that are very critical to Nigeria. You see, in engineering, that's what we call turbulent viscosity. Is a situation whereby you cannot talk about turbulence without talking about viscosity, and you cannot talk about flow without talking about this viscosity and turbulence. You can also talk about the income of Nigeria without talking about this item. Now look at the health industry. There are a lot of systems put in place to ensure that standard is observed. You look at Nigerian Medical Association, you look at Doctors Dental Council of Nigeria, look at Nutritional Council of Nigeria, look at Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, then look at NAFDAC. Before you talk of SON, these are systems that have been put in place, and they observe the global best practices for delivery of drugs for consumption and for the training of personnel for managing these things. So it is very easy to track error. It is very easy to align with other systems. But what do we have in the food industry? What do we have in the agribusiness? There is none close to that. What they have here in Europe that controls what looks like an agribusiness sector for them, for any item that is coming from the farm made for food. They call it European Food Safety Agency. It comprises of professionals. They regulate these professionals, regulate the companies, regulate the farmer, regulate everybody, and set the standard right. That's what Nigeria needs. Nigeria needs a food council. Need to establish a food council. Establish that food council, let them set in system that will align to global best practice. They will define the right HCCP for each product. They will define the right standard operating procedure for farmers. Somebody was mentioned NPK in farming in products subsequently. But I tell you, currently, that is not in vogue because people are going organic. You can imagine when you're farming fertilizer and you want to export to Europe. Excuse me.
Sorry.
That is not possible. They will not accept it because you have the toxicity level to be measured. You have a lot of things to be measured. And these are challenges facing the agribusiness and makes it non-exportable. And because these value systems are not created, you know what? The price is as low as anything. But when the market is well developed, there is a global demand for the product. What happens is that the little we can produce, we can get the maximum value to invest in producing more. But now we are suffering from glut as a result of inability to process, develop the market, and give consumers confidence about their products. I think at this point, I'll give you the opportunity to ask further questions or hence bring other persons you feel that.
No, is that all you have to like enumerate on that? Because you said you made mention of two particular lacuna there that the government isn't getting it right because of two reasons.
Second, okay, if you give me that opportunity, I go to the second one.
Please do, please do. I just wanted you to hasten up so that we would also have time for the other participants.
Oh, great. Okay. That was why I had to cut it short. The second one is technology.
Good.
And that's why I feel so proud knowing iHub, Futo Innovation Hub, because they are really doing the technological part of market development. You see, content rewriting is very important. And content direction is very important. I thank God that a certain group of people came together to conceive a hub that can deliver such services. Because if you have the best of product and you're not able to communicate it to the global standard, my brother, you've not done enough. So those are the 2 points. Create a system, a quality management, a system that can control from farming down to table to give the global community the confidence that yes, quality is assured, traceability is there, that the food is safe, that cultural practices are honored, that the environmental needs are honored. These are the key areas that we need to take into account. So I give others opportunity to contribute while I continue with what I have to give in.
I like you pointed out, it's a very good development, but is, you know, like you rightly put, this could help in creating jobs. When we were, the government is actually shouting, no jobs, no jobs. If they have people assigned, people who are trained, because we have people, we have agricultural schools across the 6 geopolitical zones.
Okay.
So we should be able to harness the wealth of experience of those students whenever they come out, and they be able to fit into this area you just mentioned out.
You see, that's the why I said they need to create a system. What happens in Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria? What happens is that a pharmacist is licensed to practice. Are you getting what I'm saying?
I do.
Even if he's having a chemist shop, he has to be licensed. excuse me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, you need to take water there.
Yeah, I need to. Just give me, I will take a break and get a bottle of water. But I just want you to understand that the job that will be created is almost about 60% of what currently the agribusiness sector is doing, if this system is created, because it would diversify a lot of responsibility and give back control to professionals and ensure that our graduates are carried along. You don't need to be a farmer to be in the agribusiness.
Yes.
Are you getting me right?
We know we said that, we discussed that last week.
That was why I cited to you that 52% of our GDP comes from services. And the current deficit in the agribusiness sector is service-related market development, and all services is what is needed to develop the market. If we have to take these details, I will tell you how much job that will be created for just processing of cassava, how much job that will be created for just processing of peanuts, just the line of those who should regulate the activity. You will have not less than 5,000 professionals in order to ensure that granite is produced from farm to table in the best quality that can compete anywhere. 5,000. If you give me the opportunity, I give you the simulation. Not less than 5,000 direct jobs.
If you have it now, you could. Because I want to go on to the person who is into shipping and the freight, and that clearing the boarding, taking it to another country. So maybe you take a breather.
When I come back, we'll continue from there.
Yeah. You take a breather, go and take the water. Yeah. Make sure you have your throat moist, so you'll be able to now give us the nitty-gritty on how we can create employment for our team and youth there in Nigeria. So right now, I'll be going to Arafat Concierge. The CEO Arafat Concierge, if you are there, please, can we see you? Can you please indicate?
Yeah, hi, I'm here. Thank you. I've actually been listening to the interesting discussion, Mr. Can you hear me?
Okay. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. I think that was Mr. Chinedu, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that was an interesting discussion he just had with us, and I must commend all the points and the important information he just passed across to us. So basically, for the he mentioned something. He mentioned something about the export and why some of those products have been rejected, why they're not viable for export, and and he also mentioned something like there's no organization that would certify all of this, produce for them to be appropriate for export. We actually have the Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Services Plant Health. That's a body that does certify all agricultural produce. It is called the Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Service Plant Health. So they always certify all produce, all kind of agricultural produce before they can be,
exported.
Right, before they can be exported out of Nigeria. So basically, if you do the appropriate things, then definitely, some produce would definitely, they'll go through the normal process and they will be exported. Like one of the issues that we used to have with a lot of people that export some of our produce out of Nigeria. For example, I'm going to use the United States as an example. So when you want to export ofada out of Nigeria, a lot of countries, specifically for US, a lot of states from the United States always have these issues of they wouldn't allow you to export ofada out of Nigeria. You can't export ofada. You can actually export ofada out of Nigeria. So it is very, very possible. The only thing you probably need, because so when you go to certify the shipment, that the shipment it's all that a particular shipment has been tested, has been verified, and has been certified that it's free and it's edible and it's certified for human consumption. So specifically for ofada, there's something that the United States want to see in the documentation, the certification that you want to do. That certification is called a phytosanitary certificate. And under the certificate, all they need to see is that this shipment was inspected and found free of something like Cafra beetles. This is like a beetle. It's actually it's an insect. It's a pest. That's what they need to see, that the shipment, that a particular ofada is being certified of that particular insects, which are called, which is kapha beetles. So that's what they need to see, that the produce is free of such insects. As long as it's certified, you can export of either out of Nigeria to anywhere, especially to the US. And the same thing applies to the UK. But unfortunately, recently, we've actually been having a lot of issues with, sometimes we can't, at the moment, we can't even tell what exactly is the issue with the United Kingdom. Because a lot of time, a lot of produce that we can easily export out of Nigeria, now we find it so ridiculously that we can't even ascertain what is the cause of this. So easily we could do beans, like he just mentioned beans. Even if you certify the beans with the dates, you have everything, they still take it out. We have not been able to do beans in the last couple of weeks. We can easily do prawn, the crayfish, and all of that, but we can't even do all of that again. So basically, most of all of these countries, easily we can export beans. It's just okay for UK. Definitely, they wouldn't even allow our protein produce, like the meat, anything chicken, because they believe they have some kind of diseases, they have some kind of, but easily they would take them from other countries, just like Ghana. That's something.
I think. Let me interject you. Sorry, Arafat. Let me interject you. Let me easily quickly interject you. I think what is causing that, like Eze rightly mentioned, is like we do not have concrete structures on ground. Because if we had concrete structures on ground, UK, US, and other countries would respect it. It's because we don't have a concrete body in Nigeria on ground that satisfies it. You and I know. I'm coming. You and I know. Everybody on this platform know. People still export agricultural produce from Nigeria to all of these countries. But in the interest of international standard, it is not there, like Izzy rightly pointed out. I can tell you for free that I've been able to be in the warehouse of a particular company in the UAE. There's a barcode he rightly mentioned. There's the expiration date and manufacture date. The time is going to be on the shelf. If the delivery, so you'll be able to trace it back. So he made a very good. I see Eze raising his hand. You want to say something?
Yeah. Let me help her out. You see, when we are talking about system, we are not talking about organizations. We are not talking about institutions. We are talking about global systems that is repeatable scientifically and otherwise. I was glad when you made mention of Ghana. Let me tell you why they will not take it from Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't have traceability of the products. We don't. Let me tell you something. When we talk about traceability, we are talking about the ability to follow products found in UK down to the farmer that produced it, down to the person that supplied the seed. We don't have that archive. Are you getting me?
Courage.
Now, the problem now is that if temporarily it qualifies for entry, does it qualify chef keeping? And they are making losses when the product doesn't qualify chef keeping. And because we don't have professionals guiding these people, they keep making this error. I feel so much pain when these things happen, that we are heavily blessed by God, but we cannot harness it. This is palm oil. This is from Ecuador. This palm oil is about 500 mil. Let me tell you what happens. The thing is that they know the harvester, they know the person who planted the palm tree, and they also know when it was planted. And they also know the fertilizer what was used to grow the palm. And they also know the cultural practices. So why they will not continue to take from Nigeria is this. Yes, fine. It has been certified by agricultural, fine, nice. But the point is that after 6 months of keeping in the shelf, they started seeing waiver. After some few days, whereby the chemical that was used to preserve it has expired, they started seeing some physical changes. Meanwhile, in Europe today, as far as Europe is concerned, the use of chemical for preservation of agricultural products is going down. In fact, non-thermal processing is the technology in vogue. So when I said there is no system, I mean there is no system. There is no system. Forget, you might want to put NAFDAC for me. Fine, good. A correct system is a system that teaches people how to observe quality than clamping down on people for a finished product. No, that's not a system. When you have a system, when you have a system, you have graduates to hold responsible if anything goes wrong in a process line. For instance, in
Arafat, are you still there?
I'm here.
Are you still there? I want you, because he made a very tangible point there, which is what I really know. Because most of our produce actually cannot be traced to the farmer. And we see our farmers getting it wrongly. That's why last week, the last episode, Samuel actually pointed out what most farmers are getting wrongly, because most of them are not really educated on some certain things. I give an example. Some putting the pesticide, the sniper, too much in beans, in maize, in some other of the produce to protect their own without even having a measurement. Do you get? So that's what he's right. But if we have structures on ground by the government, equipping people to investigate, to research on all the farms, I bet you we can. I don't know how many farmlands we have or how many clusters we have in the country. There should be a figure. There should be statistics of each state or geopolitical zones. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I need you to take a breather, Eze. I still need to go to her to see how we can convey these items from Nigeria to the rest of the world, and how she's been doing it, and some of the things she has in place. Arafat, take it away from there.
Okay, yeah, so thank you. So like he said, he made the point, and it's very absolutely correct with the point. I wasn't, excuse me, I wasn't interjecting or trying to say we don't have a structure. Yes, we don't. He's very correct to say that, because there's some basic produce that easily we can actually route through Ghana. You can imagine when I say Ghana, yes, they would accept some things from Ghana. If we go through Ghana to the UK, if we go through Ghana to US, if we go through Ghana to other countries. But the moment we're trying to export it through our company, our country, then it's an issue. And this is because as much as Ghana is just by our side, they have structure. They have structure in place. They have database. So that makes it so easy for their export. So I'm not saying, I don't want you to get me wrong. I'm not saying we don't have that. Yes, that's one. Then two, for some of these, he mentioned something about traceability, where they can actually trace it back to the manufacturer to get the date of manufacturing, to get the whole information about the produce. And this is why, basically for United States, you cannot export some certain product to United States without having an FDA number. So that number gives you, trace it back to the company that produced such, that manufactured the produce. So if you want to say, oh, this is Gary, you have Gary, you want to export Gary, like a normal Gary that is not in the bag, like it's not processed, it's not labeled, you don't have the date, you don't have anything. Where did you want to say you bought this Gary from? How can they trace it that this Gary is not going to be expired at a particular point in time? So usually we don't have these normal standard standard procedures, but there's a way at the at the exports, at the the NACO, the the exports at NACO, there's a way they go about it, where there's a way to work around about it, that it gets the FDA number, and they're able to export it, even though some of these export materials, because people just have the FDA numbers, because they have, maybe somebody already did a shipment through them, they just have to work around using that same number to export that particular shipment. So basically what they do, sometimes it's not like this particular shipment was completely certified by the FDA for that manufacturer. I hope you get it. Like, let me use this as an insight. We have We have what's this company that does flour in Nigeria that
Flour
does
mill.
flour mill. Thank you. Yeah, flour mill. So a lot of people use flour mills. Flour mills has a lot of wide range products. Dangote has, a lot of products. A lot of, they produce a lot of products. So a lot of time, people use all of these people's FDA. There's no how you can export all of these things out, especially to the United States, without having an FDA number. So oftentimes, these are the FDA certification numbers that they use to certify that this product was actually produced by FDA or was actually produced by Dangote. So, oftentimes people. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is the moderator still here?
Like this 5 days, never talking about
Okay, let me add something to what you said. Adam Arafat, am I right?
Yes, sir.
I
think he has an issue with the.
Yeah, but while he is trying to fix his issue, there is something I need to explain here. By virtue of grace, I think we have been able to intermediate between the Western trade unions and the African trade unions. For instance, when you have bilateral trade relations like Nigerian-British Trade Commission, you have like a European Nigerian Trade Commission. These are the people who are supposed to develop these markets, okay? Let me tell you something very clean. When you have a system that is impeccable, people will trust it. You don't need to go to Ghana to ship. Why should you go to Ghana to ship? You should ship from Nigeria. Why should you why should you prepare goods different from what the nations consume? And that's why they don't trust it, because the consumer confidence is lacking. I want to make this point, and I'm not making it from academic point of view, but I'm making it from professional point of view. And I'm going to link it to job creation, okay? Let everybody take this home, because that's why I honor this particular presentation.
Yeah.
See,
go ahead.
You do not politicize issue of food and agri.
Sure.
If you do that, you get a lot of things wrong. And you do not instill quality at the finished product. No, quality starts from the seedlings. And that's the problem, and that is the error of Nigeria. Okay? When I propose a system, this is what is done. European Food Safety Agency, what do? They comprise of all member states of the EU. What do? They bring professionals from the Pharmaceutical Council. They bring professionals from the Medical Council. They bring professionals from the Nutritional Council. They bring professionals from the Agricultural Council, toxicology councils, those people who are experts in evaluation toxicity of an item, microbiological quality of an item, the process engineering parameters of an item. They bring all these people to make up what they call the EFSA, European Food Safety Agency. And what does these people do? They set the standard, professional standard for anybody to practice a profession that will involve in edible item. They set standard like food safety management system. They set standard like HACCP adherency to both who process and those who are professional staff hired by companies. They do not have business with companies. Rather, if anything goes wrong with a product, they go for the professional that is behind it. To withdraw your certificate, you will not work again because you endanger the life of citizens. That's the system we are talking about. Let me shock you. I want to shock you. If peradventure Nigeria is serious with agribusiness, let it take a single product. The three main products that we are world producers of are cassava, palm oil, and cashew nuts. Okay? Fortunately enough, I have been able to work in the cassava HQCF project of Nigerian government. The inconsistency of the policy failed that project. That was because there is no system. If the Nigerian government is honest enough to expand the agribusiness sector, this is what should be done. Convey a food council in Nigeria, get professionals and get trained person. I am trained. I'm not just trained as a food processing engineer. I have also gotten some certifications to handle food products. So I should be held responsible for any process line that goes wrong with any product anywhere in the world. That's a system. The person I got apple from should be held responsible by his farm. Let his farm produce the particular agriculturist who inspected the planting of that apple. That is what we are talking about here. We don't have that kind of a thing. The penalty is always to withdraw the person's practice license. And that's why you find out that in the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, you hardly will record incidents. They can go to US and just do some little regulations and they practice. Do you get what I'm saying? The practice are professional,
Yeah,
but
sure,
by the time you left
sure.
the most important thing, which is food, you left to set the structure for food for your people, and you expect other nations to take that thing from you. There is no confidence. Buyer's confidence is not there. Let me tell you, market is all about demand and supply. It's all about demand and supply. If you are having a sufficient supply that is not meeting the demand is consumers' perception, what they want, how they want it, and what they want it to be. If the product is not meeting that question, you don't have supply. What you have is waste. Okay? So I will say it again. The digital solution of number 2 will be to ensure that computer engineers are incorporated in every farm. Every farm should have a toxicologist, a microbiologist. It should have a pharmacist. It should have any professional that has to ensure safety in the farm. Government should send and post those people to encourage those farmers, because those farmers cannot help it. They cannot fund it. They are peasant farmers, just like the previous episode have said. But I tell you, if they take it upon themselves as a value-adding system and market development system to ensure that they build global confidence on the structure in place to ensure quality, all this complaint will go. In Europe, I don't want to be too practical. These are the items I personally sought for research. This is onions. This is yellow gari from Alibaba. It is not, it's an African product produced for Africans in Europe from Alibaba. Why? This is another product, and this is not less than €4 for less than 1 kg, because these systems are not in place. Other people are building this system, coming to our land to take these raw materials, process it to standard, and they are making money out of us. Why can't we build a system? Why can't the Nigerian nation invest in system development and market development? Why must we go through backdoor and go through Ghana in order to get these things, which doesn't take much? It only takes regulation. Put the right people in the right position, and we will get it right. Let me shock you. The first assignment I did here was the design of an apple refrigerator. What does it do? It's a small refrigerator that will collect apple from farm and ensure that it's kept in the right temperature. We are having tomato wasting in the north, up and down. Meanwhile, in Europe here, it's a scarce commodity. They have gone beyond the use of tomato paste. They are now looking at extraction of lycopene for promotion of health. But Nigerian system is not talking about that. They are just talking about producing it in the north and coming to sell in Lagos. No. So we should be conscious enough to build system. The organizers of this program should write a proposal to Nigeria. Start by that. Leave export. Let us leave export for now and set the system. Write a proposal to federal government. Let them constitute a food council that will bring professionals to round table and discuss the issue of quality and quality assurance to boost customer confidence. That is where you develop the market. And that is the way you build global competitiveness and global confidence in your products. And that is when you say, this is what it is, they will believe you because they know who to hold responsible. Without that, I don't think the opportunity that is inherent in the global community for export of agri products in Nigeria will be harnessed. What Madam Arafat is saying is good. but that is an individual effort, which will get us nowhere. The Photo Innovation Hub is doing a private job that if the federal government takes them, okay, come, let us know how you can control for us the data control for capturing of this particular traceability system for our agriculturists, manage staff and train staff on how they can do this to various farmers. I was supposed to show you something. An apple I bought 2 months ago was stated to be exportable from the label. So if I want to export it, I can order and export because it's already labeled exportable, and I can trace the history of the farm and locate them there and make my order. Market development. So you see market even inside market. So if I want to export that apple to Nigeria now, I just buy one, trace the maker of that apple and make negotiation. I'll begin to ship the apple to Nigeria. That is what we call system. I don't believe in magu system. I don't believe in agency that will control you and pressurize you. Don't send that. No. So my people, we need a system and we need technology.
Chinedu actually spoken well. I'll be going to, because he mentioned something about the peasant farmers. Yes, we are always used to the old way of doing business when it comes to agri. That is by getting from the north and taking it down south, and then we feel, yes, we're doing business. That's what the business is all about. I have somebody who runs a restaurant, and you know, once you get it from the farm, these people buy, they are in between we consumers as well as the producers. So I want to have a take on some of the things, the challenges she's facing, maybe buying on ripe tomato, or the attaché, or is not available, or the oil, or the likes of it. Zainab, can you come online right now? Let me see Zainab here, right? Zainab, hello.
Hello,
okay, yeah, she's
good
back.
afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Zainab owns a restaurant, the Iki, the taste board thing. Zainab, could you please tell us, from your own point of view, what are the challenges you are facing as a restaurant owner from the produce you buy from the market? Are they freshly made? Are they expensive or cheap, bearing the fact that it's within your vicinity that you're buying these produce? What are the challenges? Let us know.
Actually, because I live in the suburban area of Abuja, I tend to get this produce easily, and I tend to get them fresh and at a cheaper rate than other people that live in the city center. But at times we have some difficulties. We experience price fluctuations and stuff like that because of some factors. At this time of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've had issues with prices and rise in prices, and then difficulty in accessing those products because they've been there's been lockdown and stuff like that. And that's basically some of the issues I have faced in my business.
No, I think my question, I think I don't want you to be economic with the response. What I'm saying is this, you know, when you go to the market, there are some certain instances you find unripe potatoes or damaged potatoes, as it were.
Yeah.
And have you ever had, or maybe even, I'm not saying you're buying it, I'm saying you've come across them. Don't you question this your sellers? They're like, why do you have this? Why don't you have big tomatoes when you're a farm and all that? And what do they tell you? The egusi, the ogbono, the onions, the yams. What are the challenges you face? Do you get the best of the yams when you get to the market, or the ones you actually want, or you're forced to buy the ones you see?
Actually, I haven't really had problems with buying bad produce and stuff like that. Like I told you, where I live, we have a local market, and they tend to bring things, a lot of food stuff there. They have options, of course, definitely. You actually choose to buy the good ones or you buy the bad ones. They have, I think they're making with that, they're actually trying to make a provision for people, different people, category of people, those that are willing to splurge and then buy better produce and rich ones and fresh ones and stuff. But for me, I have easy access to those things because of where I live and because of the local market I have around my area. So, but
Okay, now I will go to Arafat, because Arafat deals also with catering services, and I want to see how you put professionalism into this catering service. This has a connection with the agric as well. It's a business. You might not be the producer of a particular farm produce or fruit or something. What are the X factor you put in your own sector, Arafat?
Okay, so my aspect of the catering business used to be not the food, but the fruit aspect, like fresh
Okay.
fruits, and we use that in the production of fresh juices and smoothies and the likes. So basically, we always make sure we get the best produce of the fruits, ensuring we go on selection, not just buying, because we have to make sure we select the produce that are still very fresh, because that starts from, so we looked at where it's coming from, the location. Sometimes different states, like we're talking about watermelon and pineapples. If you want to buy pineapples, sometimes the pineapples from the Cotonou used to taste a little more better than our own. But sometimes we have some that do come from the north, like they do bring it from the north, the northern part of Nigeria. So, but a lot of time the ones from the Cotonou, the pineapple Cotonou, used to be a little sweetened, and which makes our end product taste much better for
How
our
about the
during
agbalumo?
the production. And the agbalumo, yes, the agbalumo comes from the equally the agbalumo, the pineapple. Most of this produce from Cotonou tastes a little more better, and which is what we
No,
always see. They'll say agbalumo ajashe.
Edo agbalumo is all good.
Yes, that's
What
what
that
you
means,
see.
what they do, I'll take my question to Chinedu right now. I'll take it from you. I think Chinedu, because he is the star boy right now on this particular one, because he knows the ins and outs of it. So Chinedu, what are they getting it rightly in the Republic of Benin that we are not getting it in terms of the pineapple, the agbalumo, the mango, the
In all
oranges,
of
the
those fruits,
tomatoes that we are not doing?
even talk about the grapefruit. We have the Nigerian grapefruits, we have the Cotonou grapefruit. Majorly,
Okay.
all their fruits taste better. They have it better. So honestly,
I,
I personally don't know how they do it better than us.
No, I
I've
want.
made
I know.
their produce.
Asking. Sorry. I think you should take that question.
I think it boils down to the same thing we are talking about. There is an organization called IITA, International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. Their mandate is to distribute the rice seedlings to farmers, okay? Probably in Nigeria, farmers do not have access to the rice seedlings that the market demands because they don't have money to access it perhaps. Because
Could you say it's corruption, lady? Could you say it's abuse
even when
corruption?
it's given free, it doesn't get to them because there is no tracking of these farmers to share them and checkmate them. Okay, so those items you are mentioning that are of better sweetness have undergone a conscious biological farming process to ensure that they deliver a sweet product to you. Well, for you, for a test board is okay. It is not all inclusively the best,
Yeah.
but for you who like the sweet one, it's okay. But the current market demand also have space for those ones that are not as sweet as that. What have just done, they have been able to modify. And that's where you start talking about GMO products, genetically modified product species that have been tampered from its original content, okay? So these are but most of us don't know. And one thing you don't know is this. They will not tell you that they have refused collecting a particular beans from Nigeria for a particular reason. The reason could be familiar to them. It could be that the seed that is being used to plant that particular seed have not been replaced by what they assumed to have the right nutritional content, even though it met other parameters, but the nutritional content is not up to what they want. So to answer that very question, the seeds had been followed from the makers of the seed down to the farmer who planted it and monitored up to harvest. And therefore, they are sure that it will always be sweet.
Let me chip in something. You are actually right, because I've been to the farm, the institute. They actually do this. It's called Shonga. The institute is Shonga, and you have
Shongai farms, right?
Yes.
Let me cut you short.
Nigerians actually go there.
That very owner of Shanghai farms, to tell you why Nigeria is getting it wrong, the owner of Shanghai farms appealed to Nigeria to give him slot to do what is doing in those countries. But they refuse him access.
Yeah.
So when we are ready, we'll set a structure. When we are ready, we'll set a structure that can change our
Okay, now. Still hold that breath. You told us, because this platform is about One Nigeria and it's about educating and empowering our youth.
Okay.
Is actually the source and the strength of our country. You mentioned that there are lots of jobs that could come up from a particular city, from one level. I would like you to educate our teaming audience and whoever who's actually watching at this hour. Take us through the ropes of how we can get employment for all these graduates out there seeking for a job.
This would be my greatest passion, to speak on this, okay? And I want to ask you, do you have the total number of youth farmers in Nigeria? I don't think anybody has that record, but we have the total number of unemployed youths in Nigeria currently, right? So how does this create job? Every year, there's not less than 6,000 graduates of agri extension services, not to talk about food processing experts. What do you need to do to create job for them? The vast land we have, okay? Government, if they cannot do it, they should contract the private sector. For instance, the organizers of this One Nigeria can decide to say, okay, we are going to farm 50 acres of land. And these 50 acres of land, these are the products we are going to farm in that land. We are going to cultivate cassava. We are going to cultivate fruits and vegetables. We are going to cultivate all whatnot. In each of these products, okay, you're going to engage the services of a seed specialist, a botanist, a food processor from the planting, who will tell you the right seed to plant so that you produce the right nutrition you need. So I have mentioned about 5 professions, okay? And if you have 50 acres of land to cover and you are giving not less than 10 professionals to 1 acre to manage, it's little. Let me go by what I have in my simulation. I have that if you supply 100 professionals per acre of land, for the 50 acres of land you have, 100 professionals per acre of land. For the 50 acres of land you have, how many people is working in your 50 acres of land?
They should answer. No, go ahead, Martin.
Lady Martin's answer. That is close
5,
to
5,000.
How much? How many?
5,000.
5,000. So you have 5,000 for that 50 acre.
5,000.
The private sector is doing that. 5,000. It has 5,000 in each payroll, right? Let's have another one let's have it duplicated in the geographical zones. You have about 200 acres of land that are given to youths to farm with support. What do you need to keep them there? You need to give them accommodation. You need to supply them with accommodation, very important. And you need to ensure that you give them monthly allowance. And you need to set target for them. And you need to hold them responsible for anything that goes wrong. These 200 acres of land with these 5,000 and this, you know how many people you have employed for that area. Am I right with my, are you following my analogy?
Yes.
So that alone has taken not less than 20,000 youths out of the job market.
Or into the job market.
Into the job market. Yeah, you're right. It has taken about 20,000 youths. And what is the recurrent effect of this? They will produce a quality product that is exportable, that will pay back what has been spent in them doing this activity for 1 year. I've not talked about fish farming. I've just talked about these few products. If you do that for fish farming, oh my goodness, you have ×3 of this particular model. So tell me, why do we have unemployment in Nigeria? Because we don't have the structure and we don't have the will. Let me tell you.
No, I would no. Let me tell you. I'd rather you rephrase that. I don't. It's not. We don't have structures. We play politics with all of them, and we do not have visionary leadership.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Let me tell you. I took part in by virtue of grace. I worked under Professor Suji, who was a key person in the cassava project. He supervised my undergraduate project, and what I did was to harvest cassava and process into flour, then convert it to bread. That was my undergraduate project, and that was what informed ETC Food. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Wait, okay, please.
So what I'm trying to bring out to you is
I'm hearing you.
The politics that marred the cassava project is same politics that is marring the structure that is needed to grow the agribusiness sector. So another alternative we have, if the government is not coming up, is associations like this forum. This forum could come together in all honesty, in all zeal, to push and see that the unemployment graph is flattened in Nigeria. We could come together.
And do this. Thank you so much. I don't think we can exhaust all of this in a go. Chinedu Eze has been our guest here, and he has done justice. Chinedu, please, still wait there. I want to say something. I'm trying to, we have to round up. We still have limited time. I'm going to take your take from you, from Zainab, and any questions from them. But I would want you to promise we're going to send the illustrations you actually pointed out. So we'll be hearing people, get abreast and how we can help them employ. We're going to send this to authorities also, to see them, to x-ray it, because it's actually, as all we have here has been going on YouTube, and it will be played to them, not just to only ourselves, but to the entire world. So we need all the help we can get from one another. Your parting words right now.
I am not sure I got you quite well, but if you're asking about me sending the slide of my presentation, am I right?
Yes.
The slide of my presentation, is that what you're asking me? Or the job model I have created?
The slide.
Okay, you get the slide. But for the job model, is basically strictly on investment basis.
Yeah, I know that one is that's your cash cow. Okay, Arafat, right now, thanks so much for being a part of it. I need you to still wait.
Just a very quick one, just like Mr. Chinedu just said something about the government assigning, some acres of land for the produce, for farming. I just wanted to mention something. So in 2016, just before we go, in 2016, we actually my company, in collaboration with the Lagos State government, actually did the very first World Fruits Day. We collaborated to celebrate the World Fruits Day, which has never been celebrated in Nigeria. So that was in collaboration with the Ministry of Agri, and it was hosted by the Lagos State government. But unfortunately, so they said they promised to assign an estate at Agbowa Estate, which was supposed to be a fruit and vegetable farming properties, like acres of land for them to have a proper farming. But unfortunately, a lot of things didn't go on. We were trying to make sure all of this was, eventually come to pass, and which was supposed to create a lot of employment opportunities for the Nigerian youth.
Still plays down the politics, down to the politics that playing with the future of the nation. Thank you so much. And Zainab, are you there? We're going to have to go. We are running out of time right now.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, now let me see your parting words. What's your vision for the food business restaurant that you're holding? What are you hoping? So that you can have some other people be employed.
Yes, we're hoping. I actually really would like to see a new Nigeria where there'll be a council, that handles this agricultural produce from start to finish, and to consumers and stuff like that. It would be really nice. And if we have technology, proper form of what do I say? Technology that will really help and all that.
Everyone who's there, who's been a part of this presentation, I thank you for being part of this One Nigeria from One Nigeria platform. Is a potpourri of Nigerians, both in the home and the proper solution to what we're wrong, and it has been presented to you from the Njenje TV media. And from everyone who's been part of it, I say thank you, and let's make it a day, same time next week. Now.
Thank you.